Well, as you say, this is a ceremony that was designed and conceived by the same individual who designed and choreographed the Olympic opening ceremony, and it's been from A to Z, from start to finish. It's been organised and thought out alongside the victims and their families. It's been a real artistic collaboration to include them, and of course this garden, which has been open since June, is being officially launched this evening. With an artistic idea that's supposed to combine a place of remembrance with a place of life. It's been put together not just as a place where people can come and sit and enjoy the calm, but also what's supposed to be thought out for birds to nest and for it to be a real living place. The flowers have been chosen as plants that flower all year round, so it will always be a place of comfort, calm and remembrance, with these various granite blocks, each representing one of the sites of the attacks, and of course with the names of the many victims engraved.
Whose names will be read later. There you see Marianne, the symbol of the Republic, as we hear French organist Anne Shirley interpret AC/DC's Hell's Bells.
J'étais à Paris. C'était l'anniversaire de ma mère.
I was in Paris. It was her birthday, 73 years of age. My son was at a friend's place because his parents was out at the theatre. I was alone when a friend in the UK called me, asking me if all was fine. And then he said, "Turn on your television." I didn't sleep well that night. The next morning, the weather was fine. I went and met with my son on a place in Montmartre. And he said, the greatest thing one can do to resist is to continue going forward. And so I wrote this song.
Travesti aux cheveux blancs, bottes rouges, légère barbe de matin, I love you. Fille aux jambes dures, auto-bronzées, I love you. Homme asiatique qui porte des lunettes extravagantes, I love you. Grand mec dans le square, père pour la première fois à 46 ans, I love you. Commerçant qui empile un tour des clémentines, I love you. I love you all. Vous êtes libres. Libre de vous tromper ou d'être blessé, mais libre de le faire à votre manière. Et j'aime la façon dont vous le faites, et j'aime que vous soyez libre. Cycliste blonde avec des fleurs dans les cheveux, I love you. Adolescente écoutant de la musique sur une enceinte portable devant la boutique de golf, I love you. Grand homme noir vêtu en jaune et taupe, I love you. Étudiant qui lit un livre tout en envoyant des textos, I love you. Collectionneur des tombes d'âge mûr, I love you. Ancienne beauté en doudoune orange, I love you. Et à toi, impact de balle dans la vitre du café Casa Nostra. Quelqu'un a écrit le mot courage en dessous. En face, il y a le square. Je retrouve mon fils. Le bitume est couvert de messages écrits de la craie de couleur. La République n'est pas morte. Un pour tous. Vive la France. Solidarité. Et peut-être le plus important, Paris, je t'aime.
Jarvis Cocker, lead singer of the band Pulp there, talking about The Republic Is Not Dead, a song of love that he composed walking the streets of Paris. By coincidence, he was there on the night. and he's performed it in English. This time he did so as a reading, as you just heard, in French. He was in Paris there by coincidence. The Requiem of Lights by the composer Victor Lehmann is now being performed as part of this tribute ceremony.
Monsieur le Président de la République,
President of the French
Madame la
Republic,
Maire de Paris,
Madam Mayor,
Mesdames, Messieurs les représentants d'États étrangers,
representative from foreign
Mesdames,
states,
Messieurs les élus, Mesdames, Messieurs
elected
chacun
officials,
en vos grades et qualités,
It's good
chers
enough.
amis.
ladies and gentlemen, dear
La
friends.
mémoire n'est pas pour ressasser, mais pour agir.
Remembrance is not a time to close off, but it is a
Merci,
time
Monsieur
to
le
act.
Président, de votre présence en ce jour et en
President,
ce
thank
lieu,
you for being here today.
marquant ainsi votre attention jamais
Today
prise en
shows
défaut pour toutes
that
les
you have
victimes.
always paid close care for the victims. In being here tonight, it is a sign that the entire nation is remembering what took place.
C'est à vous, Madame la maire de Paris, que nous le devons
To
ce
you,
jardin qu'aujourd'hui nous
Madam Hidalgo, Mayor of Paris, we
Dès
owe you
2016,
this
au nom
garden.
de la ville de Paris, victime,
In
elle aussi. Vous preniez
2015,
devant les associations envers les victimes.
And then again in 2016, you made a commitment to victims and families to create a space of remembrance, one dedicated to all those who fell in 2015. This is not a monument to the dead in the heart of Paris. This space is not a space where we will forget that there were other locations. The Stade de France, the Carillon, then Petit Cambodge, then Casa Nostra, the Bonnebière, Belle Équipe, Comptoir Voltaire, and then finally the Bataclan. The place where it was so hard to intervene. It was so hard to get in and save those people who were still inside. With Sarah Gainsberger, sociologist of remembrance, it is thanks to her that we were able to see this project come to fruition. On behalf of the Association of Victims, who have always been so closely listened to by all those people in positions of power, we have made clear requests. This space is to be a space where all sites are reflected. All sites that were affected by the terrorist attacks in 2015 are reflected. Here in the heart of Paris, a location that is easily identified, easily accessible, a space where all victims who died on the 13th of November 2015 will be clearly identified. But it is also to be a space where survivors can meet, a space where they can walk through, where they can take time to stop and remember, through symbols of light, water, and plants. This space is a garden, a space where life is reborn every spring. And I would like to quote Robert Badinter in saying, yes, life is stronger than death. But it is something that we are so lacking. Over the past few years, we have dusted ourselves off and stood up stronger. Anger has subsided, our wounds have been licked and healed. Wounds of the body and wounds of the soul have healed, but the scars remain, and they will remain forevermore. Through a time of mourning and then a time of sadness, we have now reached a time of acceptance. We have gone through our own hardships. We went through the trials. But thanks to the prosecutors that were held here in Paris, we were able to see justice and the rule of law prevail. Their testimonies were so harrowing to hear for all those who came and spoke within the courts. It was thanks to them that we were able to truly understand what those people who had died had to go through. We tried to somewhat understand how and why. Yet those questions remain somewhat unanswered. We need to persevere in our own quest for truth. Over the past 10 years, our entire society has had to face the facts. Thousands of people who came forward to speak, to share flowers, messages. People who came and left their mementos on all those sites of the attacks, but all around France. And while numerous politicians here today and in Europe, and even beyond European borders, are trying to create discord, and while social media are feeding into the minds of our young generations, there are so many questions without answers. We must resist. We must not give in to this temptation of further division, and we will resist. We will resist because we will stand by your side, Mr. President, to the Interior Minister as well. We will stand by your sides to ensure that we will have security without giving up our freedoms. The fallout of these terrorist attacks show us that we need to fight for the younger generations, that we need to not forget, that we need to ensure that remembrance will go beyond official statements and declarations. We want to see action. taken. And we have seen initiatives come to the fore so that all generations will remember. We will continue to think about what took place, about why it took place, so that the younger generations who are far often ignored from the base will be included in that discussion. We will continue to resist to show that all generations are bound to those people who are victims of these attacks, that we will continue to fight for freedom, for democracy, and the values that are our own, so that we will come out as vanquishers. We are here unveiling the plaque for this new garden. So let me reiterate our wish once again. And, Mr. President, you said to me just recently that you would come true on this promise. We will ensure that we will have a memorial against terrorism, but this is a museum that will have another mission, a greater, more ambitious mission, not just to foster a culture of remembrance, but also a culture of handing on to future generations, of educating, of awakening minds, so that the light of knowledge will cast off the darkness of barbarism. As Henri Rousseau said, when he says, there is no point to commemorate events if you do not know those events and if you do not understand them. To conclude, once again, Mr. President, thank you. Thank you for being here. Thank you for having created the National Day for Homage for those victims, a day that pays homage to all French men and women who have died in such similar attacks. And to Anne Hidalgo, Mayor of Paris, thank you. Thank you to the elected officials from Paris Town Hall for all that you have done to help us, for having been so true and authentic over these past few years, as we have gone through all of the necessary steps to bring this garden to life. Thank you for having us at this event. And I would like to truly thank Wagan Landscaping for everything that they have done for this garden, for all of those men and women who carved the stones, who landscaped the gardens, who tended to these plants to ensure that we could have this garden. Thierry Reboul, Victor Loman, and all those who worked with them to make this monument, one where beauty and emotion combine. Thank you so much for having created this place of remembrance by bringing it to life with light and music. Thank you for organizing this ceremony, this symbolic place, one where the victims are at the true core, at the heart of this event. Thank you for doing it with such finesse and such kind consideration. I would like to thank you on their behalf. They are here in the garden tonight with us.
The victims are here with us. Philippe Duperron, the president of the 131115 Victims Association, an association that portends to accompany victims over time. We're in the company of Mandy Palmucci, who was there on the night. Mandy, in that speech, he talks about the anger subsiding, but the scars enduring. How do you wear those scars after 10 years?
I think after 10 years, I've come to accept that those scars are just part of who I am now. They've woven into the fabric of my being. It doesn't necessarily, it's not heavy in my mind constantly.
They don't define you.
Exactly, but they're always there now, and I accept that. I think there's nothing I can do about that. So I try to make the most of what I have learned in the time since the attacks.
And this annual return to Paris, it helps?
Yes, and truthfully, I don't know how else to spend the day, and it feels comforting to be in a community who also knows the struggles and the grief that accompany this memory.
it was quite a political speech that we heard just now. Clovis Casali talking about how...
I would just like to say one thing about Mandy, and I would like to say it's very brave of her also to be here today, because we have a colleague who found it extremely difficult. She was at the Belle Equipe, the same venue as you. She saved lives that night. She witnessed the same scenes of horror as you that night. And for her, every year she's come out and talked about this. This year she found it just too difficult on this 10-year anniversary. A moment with this ceremony that could bring some kind of closure to a lot of people here in France. And to answer your question about this political speech, indeed it was very political. This man clearly in grief, but trying to move on, to talk about the pain of losing his son, but also try to thank politicians and also criticize politicians who are sowing division or increasing division in the country. And by that, he meant, of course, far-right politicians or those who are trying to put one community against another.
Yeah, and remember, November 2015, there'd been the terror attacks first in January against Charlie Hebdo. Anna Navarro Pedro, after Charlie Hebdo, there was this moment of national unity. After November the 13th, there was also a moment of national unity.
There was also a moment. The country, even in that night, at La Belle Equipe, I believe, there was this story of a young man, who was from Antilles, and a black man who just didn't know the woman next to him, and as they were shooting at the terrace, he put his body in front of a woman who was unknown to him to protect her. He died and she survived. And we had many stories like that when, in the midst of the horror, how many stories of people, holding together and helping each other. So that in spite of all the religions, color of skin, social background, whatever. So that was the night as well. And afterwards, maybe we could speak about the night yet, but afterwards, there was this moment, eerie moment. The next day, the very next day, people were on the terrace, on the cafes next to the Bataclan, having a coffee and having a drink. And of course, they were very serious. It was not a joyful moment.
But it was a political act.
It was a political act, and don't forget the movement immediately. Tous au bistrot, tous en terrasse. Afterwards, for the Tuesday after this Friday the 13th, which meant let's all go on terrace and have a drink a glass of wine, and everybody was there. And I was with friends, and I had friends we were a group, and there were atheists, and there were Muslims, and then there were Christians and agnostics in the group, and everybody was, it didn't matter what your belief was. Everybody was in a single communion, and we were all very well accepted and in talk and dialogue with other people.
And I think you're right, because I remember the day after the attack, or the evening, should I say, following the attacks. I was born and brought up in République. It's my neighborhood. Le Carillon was my local bar. I go there once a week. And that night, I lived just next to Place de la République. So the night after the attacks, I went outside to see what was going on. And it was incredible, the scenes. Dozens, if not hundreds of people gathering spontaneously, taking to that symbolic landmark in Paris, saying, on n'a pas peur, we are not scared, with banners, with posters, sometimes in silence, sometimes singing would erupt in a very peaceful way. And it was very much a show of solidarity with the victims, but also of unity of the French nation in these difficult times. And that was something that will stick with me for a long, long time.
Indeed.
Those who've seen the commemorations of September 11th in the United States will see the similarity here, as they are next going to read out the names of the victims. It was 130 victims. They've added 2 names of people who later committed suicide. Let's take a listen.
Nick Alexander, Jean-Jacques Amiot, Armel Antisévic Pumia, Anor Arwebo, Thomas Ayad, Guillaume Barraud de Scherf, Alva Berglund, René Bichon, Chloé Boissineau, Emmanuel Bonnet, Maxime Bouffard, Quentin Boulanger.
Ludovic Boumbas, Véronique de Bourgy, Élodie Breuil, Cyprien Calciu et Lacrimura Mariana Pop, Claire Camax, Nicolas Catina, Baptiste Chevreau, Nicolas Classo, Cécile Coudon-Pégado de Lille, Nicolas Degenhardt, Elsa Delplas et Patricia San-Martin, Alban Denuy.
Vincent Détoc, Frédéric Calizo, dit Fred Deville, Asta Diakité, Manuel Dias, Romain Didier et Lamia Mondéguer, Lucie Dietrich, Elif Dogan, Fabrice Dubois, Romain Dunet, Thomas Duperron, Justine Dupont, Mathias Dimarski et Marie Loche.
Saler Emad El Djebali, Germain Ferret, Romain Feuillade, Grégory Foss, Christophe Foultier, Julien Galisson, Suzon Garrigue, Mayol Gobert, Micheli Gilles Raimez, Cédric Ginestou, Mathieu Giroux, Cédric Gomet, Noémie Gonzalez.
Juan Alberto González Garrido, Stéphane Grégoire et Frédéric Hénino, Anne Guyomard, née Cornet, et Pierre-Yves Guyomard, Stéphane H, Thierry Ardouin et Marie-Aimée Dalloz, Olivier Auducœur, Pierre-Antoine Henry, Raphaël Hils, Mathieu Hoche, Jamila Oud.
Mohamed Hamid Ibn Mobarak, Pierre Innocenti, Nathalie Jardin, Marion Joanneau, Milko Josic, Jean-Jacques Kirchheim, Hyacinthe Coma, Nathalie Lorraine Nebouligina, Guillaume Ledran, Renaud Le Gouen, Gilles Leclerc, Christophe Lelouch, Claire Métro-Taprest.
Cécile Martin, Antoine Marie, Cédric Mauduit, Charlotte et Émilie Maud, Isabelle Merlin, Fanny Minot, Yannick Mainviel, Cécile Miss et Luis Felipe Choré, Marie Mosser, Justine Moulin, Quentin Mourier,
Victor Munoz Quilemoes, Christophe Mutez, Hélène Mouyal-Léris, Romain Naufle, Bertrand Navaret, Christopher Noé Chalter-Bodino, Léla Ouzounian, David Perchirin, Aurélie de Peretti, Manuel Manu Pérez et Priscilla Correa, Marion et Anna Pétard-Lefrig.
Franck Pitiot, Caroline Prénat, François-Xavier Prévost, Sébastien Proisy, Richard Ramon, Valentin Ribet, Mathieu de Rortet, Estelle Roua, Thibaut Rousse-Lacordaire, Raphaël Ruiz, Oda Saadi et Alima Ndiaye Né Saadi, Madeleine Sadin.
Kérédine Sabi, Lola Saline, Hugo Sarad, Jalal Seba, Maud Serrault, Sven Alejandro Silva Pelluccini, Valeria Soulésine, Fabien Stech, Ariane Teller, Éric Toumé, Guillaume Valette, Olivier Vernadal, Stella Soanirina Yasmine Berry.
The opening notes of Dire Straits' Brothers in Arms to follow the reading of the 132 names of the victims of the November 13th, 2015 Paris attacks. the commemoration ceremony taking place behind Paris City Hall, where France 24's Antonia Kerrigan is there. Coming up next, one of the, I guess you could say, high points of this ceremony, Antonia, which is a light show with 132 stars in the sky.
Yes, that's quite right. 132 stars for 132 victims. And indeed, hearing those names read out, as I'm sure you will have heard too in the studio, really brought to the fore just how many they were that night. In the crowd around me, there was a deafening silence as the names were reeled off, and a very audible applause when that was finished. And you saw there were tears. There were people holding their loved ones close in a gesture of support during that reading, which was perhaps one of the most difficult moments of this ceremony, which is otherwise punctuated with messages of hope and, of course, music putting the culture at the fore.